So welcome to our next segment of our tackle reviews. Today we're having a look at a new spinning rod that's arrived. Every year we see loads of new spinning rods. They get a little bit nicer, a little bit lighter. They're always fashionable. Everyone likes a new lure rod, a new lure. But it's not too often we come across something which is new and pushing the boundaries of what people have done before. So I'd like to introduce you to this little bad boy of a rod here. This is a Westin W10. It's the top of the range rod. Come out in back end of 2023. But this is the first time I'm going to have to actually get my hands on one to have a real good look at it. So you're asking what makes it so special. Obviously, it's got a hefty price tag because it's arguably one of the best lure rods out there. So the W10, what sets it apart is the quality of materials they use in it. So just a very brief thing about carbons, basically the higher the number, the better quality carbon is used. So most rods you'll see have got a 20 ton, 25 ton carbon in them, and as you go in price brackets, the number goes up. So this, I think, is probably the highest rated carbon I've seen, certainly in a spinning rod. It's a 55 ton Torre carbon. So the more pure and better quality carbon you get means obviously the weight reduces, they get a bit stiffer, and the recovery of the rod is so much quicker. So we speaking recovery in layman's terms, it's how quick the rod will go from bent to straight. So in a lure rod, it's massively important in two factors. Obviously, one for casting. A lot of people to get extra distance with a lure rod will cast as quick as they can, almost like a snap cast. So with that rod, as you've cast it, if that tip section of the rod can come straight again quicker, generates more speed, and then thus sends your lure a bit further out. So will a more expensive rod with posher carbons in it cast further? Is it worth the money? If distance is ultimate, yes, the better quality carbon generally will give you a better distance of cast. The other thing that the better quality carbons do is the recovery speed when you're trying to work a lure. So even if you're just twitching something along and just bouncing it off the bottom, or if you're working a surface lure, and you can work any lure with the right action, but it makes life a lot easier, especially when you're out for several hours spinning for bass, or you're going down for your canal, or you drop straight for perch. If you've only got to twitch it, and that tip is so responsive, it just moves it and it jerks the lure exactly how you want. There's no recoil through the rod that you're having to work more to get the same output. So so the carbon 55 ton, that gives you all that added extra. But on top of that, it needs to be put into a rod correctly. From the feel of this rod, Westin have done a great job of that. They've also used nano resins. So the resins is what sort of glues the carbon together. Without going into too much detail on just a basic product review, when you speak to a lot of the rod manufacturers, the actual guys in the factories making them, they do talk about the resins almost being as important, and it's sometimes more important than the actual carbon used. So when you use nanotechnology resins, you're putting in 55 ton carbon, the Torre carbon into the build, you're going to come up with something quite special. This rod to pick up is so well balanced. I know I can never show you that on a video, unfortunately, but it is quite incredible to hold. They do a series of these, from standard spinning rods, they do finesse rods. They cover, to be honest, most aspects of modern lure fishing. They're all available to view the different sizes on our website, jerrysfishing.com. But I thought I'd just give you a little close-up of it as well. So when you just look at the carbon weave on the handles here, you just don't see things like this on the market. And it's just absolutely incredible. It's like it's fallen off a Formula One car. Just everything is so smooth on these. The naming's really cool. The spigot is also something I'd like to mention. So the spigots on these are actually a little bit, they've got extra reinforcement on here. So sometimes with the very expensive carbons, they are a tiny bit more brittle from getting walloped. So again, Westin, they've thought that through. They've strengthened this slightly here and on here to ensure that the longevity of the rod stands there. So you've got this performance tool, and it will last. Other notes on the rod, Again, you're thinking top of the range rod, we've gone with top of the range rings. Fuji titanium Torzite rings. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about how good Torzite rings are. They're hands down the best rings on the market. Titanium frames make them durable and very lightweight, but it's the insert of the Torzite which makes the massive difference. The reduction in friction compared to a standard ring, of a decent Fuji standard ring, is incredible. I'd suggest if you're interested in how much further you can cast by reducing friction down, is have a YouTube of how quick the rings can slide down the jigs that Fuji make in Japan to show you the difference between the inserts. Most common insert in the UK is called an alkanite, and when you see a Torzite versus an alkanite on the speed jig, you'll go, I want Torzites on my next rod. Buy a set of them rings on your own, even for a spinning rod, it's best part of £100. If not, maybe a little bit more. But you know, we're talking top of the range rods here. This model here sits about £700. This is a 7'3", 5 to 23 grams. So this is more of your lighter side of pike fishing, canal work, maybe some premium perch fishing. You could also use it, you know, there's no reason why you couldn't go out wrasse fishing with this or pollock fishing or light bass work. Obviously with the lighter rate up to 23 grams, you're actually a little bit limited on what you're going to throw. But in terms of how you're going to work the lures with this rod, you know, I don't think I've ever seen a rod that feels as good as this. Yeah, I'd really recommend if you're in the market for something special, one of them rods buy once, you know, Westin W10 is certainly worth the consideration. We've got them in store. We've got a few of the rods in store. If you want to come in and pick them up, come please speak to the staff. The full range is on our website, so it's jerrysfishing.com. Just type in Westin W10, it'll bring up all the available models. But like I said, they do cover a wide range of lure fishing situations. Any other comments, please drop in the boxes below. Give us a like if you can do that. Obviously the next things we publish will come straight into your inbox, and then you can have a view of the other tackle reviews. Yeah, thanks for your time.